My mother never managed to have a real profession. Olivia said it out loud, in front of all her businesswoman friends, in front of the birthday cake that still had the candles lit. In front of me, I was standing next to the table, with my cleaning uniform still on. I had just arrived. I had taken 2 buses to be there, to see her blow out the candles, to hug her, even if just for a second. But she looked at me as if I were trash in the middle of her perfect party. "Mom, I need you to leave," she told me. Her voice sounded calm. Too calm. "You are embarrassing me." The executives were watching me. Jessica had an uncomfortable smile. Another woman was checking her phone. I just wanted to disappear. Then Olivia kept talking, as if I were no longer there. "That is my life, girls. My mother is a cleaner. She never went to college. She never had ambitions. I had to build everything alone, without help, without a role model." I felt the air escaping from my chest. I was going to turn around. I was going to leave there with the little bit of dignity I had left. But in that moment, an older woman approached the table. Catherine Sterling, Olivia's boss, elegant, impeccable gray hair, eyes that seemed to read everything. Olivia stood up immediately. She gave her an exaggerated hug. She began to introduce her to all her friends as if she were the Queen of England. "Mrs. Sterling, what an honor that you came. These are my colleagues from the marketing department." But Catherine was not looking at her. She was looking at me. Her eyes widened, first with surprise, then with something I could not decipher. She took a step toward me, then another. "Wait," said Catherine, interrupting Olivia in the middle of her speech. "Your mother is Eleanor Vance." The entire restaurant seemed to go silent. Olivia blinked, confused, uncomfortable. "Yes, but—" "Eleanor Vance," Catherine repeated, now closer to me. Her voice was trembling. "The Eleanor Vance who worked at Sterling Enterprises 30 years ago." I said nothing. I could not. Olivia looked at me. Then she looked at her boss, then at me again. "I do not understand," murmured Olivia. "My mother has always been a cleaner." Catherine let out a short laugh, incredulous. "A cleaner," she shook her head. "Eleanor Vance was the most brilliant executive I ever knew. She was my mentor. The woman who taught me everything I know about business." Olivia's legs began to shake. "I saw it. Everyone saw it." "That is not possible," said Olivia, with a broken voice. "My mother never. She would not." "She resigned from everything," continued Catherine, looking at me with something resembling respect. "She turned down an international promotion. She turned down a salary of $50,000 a year. All to stay with you." Olivia let herself fall into the chair. Her face was pale. Her hands were trembling on the table. "No," she whispered. "It cannot be true." I still did not speak, because I had waited for this moment for years. I had imagined this instant 1,000 times. And now that it was here, I did not know whether to feel relief or pain. Catherine took out her phone. She searched for something. Then she showed me an old photograph. Me, 30 years younger, in a gray suit and a confident smile. I was in an office surrounded by documents and charts. "This is your mother, Olivia," said Catherine, showing her the image. "This is the woman who sacrificed her entire career for you." Olivia took the phone with trembling hands. She looked at the photo. Then she looked at me, her eyes filled with tears. "Mom, why did you never tell me?" I just smiled, a tired smile. "Sad. Why did you never ask?" I turned around. I walked toward the exit of the restaurant. I heard Olivia calling me. I heard her voice break, but I did not stop, because they did not know that I already had everything ready. I had spent years preparing for this moment, and this was just beginning. 30 years ago, I did not wear a cleaning uniform. I wore gray suits, high heels that made noise when walking down the hallways of Sterling Enterprises. I carried important documents under my arm. I signed contracts. I led meetings with men who respected me, even if they did not want to admit it. I was 26 years old when they offered me the promotion. Regional manager. A salary of $50,000 annually. My own office. International trips to London. To Paris. To New York. It was everything I had dreamed of since I left my hometown with a borrowed suitcase and an accounting certificate in my hand. But then I discovered I was pregnant. Olivia's father disappeared before I could tell him. I looked for him for weeks. His phone was disconnected. His apartment empty. I found out later that he had gone to another city with a younger woman, someone without responsibilities, someone who would not ruin his plans. I had two options: accept the promotion and leave my baby in daycare all day, or resign and raise her myself. I chose the second. My boss, Catherine Sterling, cried when I handed in my resignation. She told me I was making a mistake, that women like me did not appear every day, that the corporate world needed me, but I needed my daughter more. Olivia was born in October, small, perfect, with her eyes closed and her fists clenched as if she were already fighting against the world. I held her in my arms, and I knew I had made the right decision. During the first years, we lived in a one-bedroom apartment. I worked cleaning offices at night. Olivia slept in a crib that I bought at a garage sale. I sang songs to her while I mopped floors. I read her stories even though she did not understand the words. I was happy. Poor, but happy. Olivia grew up being a brilliant child. She read before she was 5. She got the best grades in school. The teachers told me she had a future, that she could do whatever she wanted. I worked a double shift to pay for her advanced classes, triple shift to buy her the books she needed. I broke my back so she would have what I never had. The first signs appeared when Olivia was 15 years old. One day she came home from school and found me cleaning the house of a rich family. I was on my knees, scrubbing the kitchen floor. She walked in with her school uniform and looked at me with something strange in her eyes. "Shame. Why do you do this, Mom?" she asked me. "So that you can study," I answered her, smiling. She did not smile back. From that day on, something changed. Olivia stopped telling me about her friends. She stopped inviting them home. When we went out together, she walked 3 steps ahead of me, as if we did not want to be seen together. At 18, Olivia won a full scholarship to the university. I wept with happiness. She barely smiled. "Finally, I will be able to get out of here," she said. Those words hurt me more than any insult. During her college years, Olivia came home only at Christmas, and every time she came, she stayed less time. She checked her phone constantly. She answered calls on the balcony. She spoke in a low voice, as if I should not listen. One day, I found her profile on social media. There was a section that said about me. In the family part, there was only a dash. Nothing, as if I did not exist. I asked her why. "It is complicated, Mom," she told me, without looking me in the eyes. "My professional life and my personal life are separate things." I did not insist. I never insisted. When Olivia got her first job as an executive, she threw a party. She invited me. I went in a green dress that I had bought at a thrift store. I felt pretty. But at the party, Olivia introduced me as a family friend, not as her mother. One of her colleagues asked me how I knew her. Olivia answered for me. "Eleanor helped me when I was a child. She is a very generous person." That night I cried on the bus back home. I cried in silence, with my face pressed against the cold window, watching the city lights pass by in a blur. My daughter was ashamed of me, and I did not know how to fix it. The years passed. Olivia was promoted in her company. She bought an apartment on the wealthy side of the city. She changed her phone number without telling me. I got it through Betty, an old friend who still visited me. I sent messages to Olivia. She responded with monosyllables. "Yes," "No," "We will talk later." But later never came. Until one day I received an invitation. Her birthday, a lunch at an elegant restaurant. I thought that maybe, finally, things would change. I thought that maybe she missed me. I was wrong. 3 days after the lunch, Olivia called me. Her voice sounded different, more sober, almost regretful. "Mom, I need you to come to my apartment. I left some important documents and I have a meeting. Could you bring them to my office?" I said yes. I always said yes. She gave me the address and the entry code. She explained where the spare key was. Under the mat. As if I were the maid. As if that were my natural place in her life. I arrived at her apartment in the afternoon. A modern building. Huge windows. A uniformed doorman who looked at me with suspicion until I mentioned Olivia's name. I went up to the 12th floor. I opened the door. The apartment was beautiful. White walls. Minimalist furniture. Everything orderly. Everything expensive. It smelled of French perfume and fulfilled ambition. In the living room, there were framed photographs. Olivia at graduations. Olivia on trips. Olivia with friends at fancy restaurants. I was not in any of them. I looked for the documents. They were on her desk. A brown folder with her company's logo. I took it. I was going to leave. But then I saw her laptop open. The screen was on. No password. As if Olivia had left in a hurry and forgot to close it. I should have left. I should have respected her privacy. But something stopped me. A message on the screen. A group chat. The name of the group was Women in Biz. The members were Olivia, Jessica, and 3 other women I recognized from the lunch. I began to read. The first message I saw was from 2 weeks ago. Jessica, girls, how exciting the lunch on Friday. Are you going to bring someone special? Olivia, I am going alone. Better that way. One of the other women. And your family? Your mom? Olivia, I prefer to keep that part of my life separate. My mother is. Complicated. Jessica, complicated how? Olivia, she is a cleaner. She never went to college. She would not understand anything we talk about. It would be uncomfortable for everyone. I felt something break inside me. I kept reading. I scrolled down the conversation. There was more. Message from a month ago. One of the women. I saw your mom at the mall the other day. You look a lot like her. Olivia, please do not compare me. I worked very hard not to be like her. Another woman. Is it that bad? Olivia, my mother never had ambitions. She settled for the minimum. I promised I would never be like that. That is why I am where I am. My hands began to tremble. I kept scrolling down. More messages, more lies. Message from 3 months ago. Jessica, Olivia, you are an inspiration. Self-made woman, without help from anyone. Olivia, thanks. Yes, I had to build everything alone. I had no role model. My mother never taught me anything useful. I closed my eyes. I took a deep breath. But I could not stop. I kept reading. Message from 6 months ago. Olivia, sometimes I think my life would have been easier if I had had a different mother. Someone professional. Someone with an education. But well, one does not choose their family. Another woman, at least she gave you life. Olivia, yes, but that is the minimum a mother can do. I expected more. The tears began to fall. I could not control them. I looked for more. I opened other folders, other chats. I found a Word document. It was called My Story. It was a text that Olivia had written. Maybe for some conference or presentation. I opened it. I grew up in a humble home. My mother was a worker, but she lacked vision. From a young age, I knew I wanted more, that I deserved more. I studied alone. I learned alone. I made myself, without help from anyone. Today I can say that I am proof that individual effort overcomes any circumstance. That was it. I closed the laptop. I stood there, in the middle of that perfect apartment, feeling the floor opening under my feet. Everything I had sacrificed, everything I had given up. The promotions, the trips, the salary of $50,000 a year, the sleepless nights, the destroyed knees from cleaning floors, the cracked hands, the broken back, all so she could study, so she would have books, so she would have English classes, so she would have opportunities. And this is how she paid me, denying me, erasing me, being ashamed of me. I left the apartment. I closed the door carefully. I went down in the elevator with dry eyes. There were no tears left. In the street, the sun was shining. People walked fast. Cars honked. The world kept turning as if nothing had happened. But inside me, something had changed. I took my phone. I looked for Betty's number, my old friend, the only person who knew my complete past. I dialed. She answered on the second ring. Eleanor, what happened? Your voice sounds strange. I said nothing for a few seconds. I just breathed. Betty, I said finally, I need your help. Of course. Anything. I need you to look for something for me. Old documents, photographs, letters, everything you kept from my years at Sterling Enterprises. Betty remained silent. Then she asked, What for? I looked toward Olivia's building, toward those huge windows on the 12th floor. Because I am going to remind my daughter who I really am. Betty sighed. Then she said, I will see you tomorrow. I hung up. I walked to the bus stop. I sat on the metal bench. It was cold. The wind moved the dry leaves in the street. I thought about Olivia, about the girl who used to hug me, about the girl who told me I love you, Mommy, before sleeping, about the girl who cried when I went to work and smiled when I returned. That girl no longer existed. In her place was a woman who hated me, a woman who blamed me for her life, a woman who had erased me from her history. But I was not going to stay silent. Not this time. The bus arrived. I got on. I sat next to the window. I watched the city pass. People in the streets. Tall buildings. Neon lights. And for the first time in years, I felt something different inside me. It was not sadness. It was not pain. It was determination. Olivia did not know what was coming, but soon she would find out. Betty lived in the same neighborhood where I had spent my first years as a single mother. Small houses, narrow streets, stray dogs sleeping on the corners, clothes hanging on the balconies, the smell of home-cooked food coming out of the open windows. I knocked on the door. Betty opened immediately. She was 62 years old, gray hair tied back in a braid, tired but kind eyes. She hugged me without saying anything, as if she knew that words were useless in that moment. We entered her living room. There were cardboard boxes stacked on the floor. I looked for it all night, said Betty. I could not believe I still had it. But here it is, everything. I knelt in front of the boxes. I opened the first one. Photographs. Me, 30 years younger, in a gray suit, standing in front of the Sterling Enterprises office, smiling, confident, with a portfolio in my hand and the future ahead. Another photo. Me in a meeting, surrounded by men in ties. I was the only woman, but I was at the front, leading. Another one. Me receiving an award, Executive of the Year. The trophy shone in my hands. My smile was genuine. That woman from the past looked at me from the photographs, and I barely recognized her. You were unstoppable, said Betty, sitting next to me. We all knew it. You were going to go very far. I opened the second box. Documents, contracts signed with my name. Eleanor Vance, Operations Manager, monthly salary, $4,200. That in 1995, a fortune. Letters of recommendation, one from Catherine Sterling. Miss Vance is the most competent professional I have had the honor of supervising. Her dedication and ability to solve complex problems make her an invaluable asset for any organization. Another letter, from a company in New York, offering me a position as regional director. Annual salary, $55,000. Full benefits. Relocation paid. Date of the letter, March 1996. 2 months before Olivia was born. You rejected that offer, said Betty. I was there when you received it. You cried. You said you could not leave your baby, that she needed you more than any job. I closed my eyes. I remembered that day. The weight of the decision, the letter in my hands. The future dividing into two paths. I chose Olivia. I always chose Olivia. I opened the third box. More letters. More rejected offers. A company in London. Finance manager. Salary in dollars. Apartment included. Date, 1998. Olivia was 2 years old. Rejected. Another company. Tokyo. Project director. International travel. Unlimited growth opportunities. Date, 2000. Olivia was 4 years old. Rejected. All rejected. All for the same reason. Family responsibilities. Betty took out another document. A printed email. Old. Yellowed. This is from Catherine Sterling, said Betty. She sent it to you 20 years ago. I printed it because I thought that someday you would want to remember. I read the email. Dear Eleanor, I learned that you rejected another job offer. This is the third in 2 years. I understand your reasons. You are a mother. Your daughter needs you. But I want you to know something. You are sacrificing an extraordinary future. You could be running international companies. You could be earning hundreds of thousands of dollars. You could be changing the corporate world. Instead, you are cleaning offices at night. Eleanor, someday your daughter will understand what you did for her. Someday she will thank you. I hope that day comes soon. With love, Catherine. My hands were trembling. Olivia never thanked me for anything. Olivia erased me from her life. What are you going to do with all this? Asked Betty. I took a deep breath. I organized the photographs, the documents, the letters. I am going to prove it to her, I said. I am going to show her who I am, who I was, and everything I sacrificed for her. Betty nodded. Then she asked, when? Soon. But first I need more information. What kind of information? I took out my phone. I searched for Olivia's professional profile on social media. Olivia has an important meeting next week. A presentation for the board of directors of her company. Catherine Sterling is going to be there. All management is going to be there. Betty looked at me with wide eyes. Are you going to go? Not exactly. Then, I smiled. A cold smile. I am going to make Catherine remember. I am going to send her these photographs, these documents, everything, anonymously, so that when she sees Olivia, she remembers who her mother is. Betty remained quiet for a moment. Then she said, that is risky. I know. Olivia could get angrier. I do not care anymore. Are you sure? I stood up. I gathered the boxes. Betty, I spent 30 years trying not to bother her. 30 years being invisible. 30 years waiting for her to see me, to value me, to love me even just a little. But it never happened. So yes, I am sure. Betty helped me carry the boxes to a taxi. I gave money to the driver. I gave him the address of my apartment. One more thing, said Betty before I left. Are you going to confront Olivia directly? Not yet. Why not? Because first I want her to feel safe. I want her to think everything is fine, that I accepted my place, that I gave up. And then comes the truth. The taxi started. I saw Betty waving goodbye from the sidewalk. During the ride home, I checked my phone. Olivia had sent me a message. Mom, thanks for bringing the documents. I owe you one. Lunch soon? That word. Soon. The same word she always used. The same empty promise. I responded, sure, daughter. Whenever you can. She sent a heart emoji. An empty heart. I arrived at my apartment. I carried the boxes up to the 3rd floor. There was no elevator. My knees hurt. My back too. I opened the door. The apartment was silent. Small. Dark. It smelled of dampness. I put the boxes on the table. I opened them again. I organized everything carefully. Photographs on the left, documents in the center, letters on the right, my past ordered on the table. I took my phone. I searched for Catherine Sterling's email. It was not difficult to find. It was on the company website. I created an anonymous email account. No name, no photo. I began to write. Dear Mrs. Sterling, perhaps you do not remember me, or perhaps you do. Attached you will find documents that might be of interest to you. They belong to a former colleague of yours, Eleanor Vance. The same Eleanor Vance who is the mother of Olivia, your star executive. I believe it is important that you know the truth. That everyone knows the truth. Eleanor Vance was not always a cleaner. Eleanor Vance was one of the most brilliant professionals of her generation, and she resigned from everything for her daughter, a daughter who now denies her. Sincerely, a friend of the truth. I attached the photographs, the documents, the letters, the rejected offers. My finger hovered over the send button. I took a deep breath. Was I sure? Was I ready for this? I thought about Olivia, about her words. My mother never managed to have a real profession. I thought about the group chat. I had no role model. I thought about the document. I made myself without help from anyone. I pressed send. The email went out. There was no turning back. I sat on the sofa. My legs were trembling. I waited. The next day, Olivia called me again. "Mom, are you free on Saturday? I thought we could get coffee. Just the two of us. We have not really talked in a long time." Her voice sounded sweet. Guilty. "Sure, daughter," I replied. "Wherever you say." "Perfect. I will send you the address." She hung up. I stood staring at the phone. Olivia wanted to fix things. But not because she understood, but because Catherine had seen something, had said something, and now Olivia was afraid. I smiled. Let her be afraid. Let her feel what I felt for years. Saturday arrived. I went to the coffee shop, a modern place. Expensive. With uncomfortable chairs and soft music, Olivia was already there. Wearing a beige dress, perfect makeup, nervous smile. She hugged me. For the first time in years. "Mom, you look good," she said. "Lie." We sat down. We ordered coffee. She ordered something complicated with almond milk. I ordered black coffee. "Mom," Olivia began, "I want to apologize for the other day. I should not have treated you like that. I was stressed. The pressure of work. You know." I nodded. I said nothing. "You are important to me," she continued. "You always have been. Just that sometimes I do not know how to show it to you." I drank my coffee. It was bitter. "It is okay, daughter. Really." She smiled, relieved. "I knew you would understand." We drank coffee. We talked about unimportant things. The weather, the news, nothing real. Olivia did not mention Catherine. She did not mention the email. She did not mention anything. She was acting, just like me, two actresses in a fake play. But I knew something she did not. The play was just beginning, and the ending would be mine. 2 weeks after the coffee with Olivia, I received a message from Betty. "Eleanor, you need to see this." She attached a screenshot. It was a post on social media from the company where Olivia worked. "We are pleased to announce our annual leadership dinner. This year we will celebrate the achievements of our outstanding executives. Special event with the presence of the entire board of directors. Friday, November 15th, 7 in the evening, the Grand Continental Hotel." There was a photo of Olivia, smiling. "Perfect," the caption said. "Olivia Salas, one of our rising stars, will present her regional expansion project before the board of directors." I called Betty. "Did you see the date?" she asked. "Yes, it is in 3 weeks." "I know, Eleanor. This is your chance." "I know." I hung up. I remained seated in my small apartment with the screenshot in my hand and began to plan. This would not be a private confrontation. It would not be a conversation between mother and daughter where she could lie, manipulate, slip away. It would be public. It would be in front of everyone. In front of her boss, in front of the board of directors, in front of her colleagues, just as she humiliated me. The next day, I searched for information about the event. The Grand Continental Hotel had a website. The dinner would take place in the presidential ballroom. Capacity for 200 people. Dress code, formal. I called the hotel. I pretended to be a service provider. "Good morning. I am calling about the Sterling Enterprises event on Friday the 15th. I need to confirm some details about the service staff." The receptionist was kind. "Of course. How can I help you? How many cleaning staff and waiters are going to work that night? Let me check. We have 20 people scheduled. 10 waiters and 10 for cleaning and general support." "Perfect. Are you still hiring? We always need extra staff." "Are you interested?" "Yes. I have experience. 15 years in the sector." "Excellent. Come on Wednesday for a quick interview. If everything is fine, you can start that Friday." I hung up. I smiled. I was going to be there. In that ballroom, invisible to everyone. Just another cleaning worker. Another unimportant face. But not for long. On Wednesday, I went to the hotel. The interview lasted 10 minutes. The supervisor asked me about my experience. I told her the truth. I had cleaned offices, houses, hospitals. I knew how to work hard and in silence. You are hired, she said. Friday at 5 in the afternoon. Bring comfortable shoes and black clothes. We will give you the uniform here. I accepted. That night, I called Betty again. I need something else, I told her. What? I need you to contact Catherine Sterling. Directly, not anonymously. Tell her who you are. Tell her you were my friend during all these years. And tell her you need to talk to her. In person. Betty remained silent. Then she said, Are you sure? If I do that, she will know something is happening. Exactly. I do not understand. I want her to arrive at that dinner prepared. I want her to know that something is going to happen. But not what. I want her to be alert. To watch Olivia. To see the truth. Eleanor, this is risky? I know. But I need Catherine on my side. It is the only way. Betty sighed. All right, I will do it. 2 days later, Betty called me. I already spoke with Catherine. And she was surprised. At first, she did not believe me, but I showed her the photos, the documents, everything. She cried. Eleanor, she cried when she saw what Olivia did to you. Did you tell her about the dinner? Yes. I told her that you were going to be there, that something important was going to happen. I did not give her details, but she understood. What did she say? She said she also has something to say. That she has been keeping information about Olivia, things she discovered at work. What kind of things? She did not want to tell me. She said she will reveal it that night. If you take the first step, she will support you. I closed my eyes. Everything was falling into place. Thanks, Betty. Eleanor, be careful. Olivia's not going to forgive you for this. I do not want her to forgive me. I want her to understand. I hung up. The days passed slowly, very slowly. I practiced in front of the mirror, the words I was going to say, the tone, the posture. I could not sound bitter. I could not sound vengeful. I had to sound dignified, calm, like the executive I once was. On Thursday night, Olivia called me. Mom, tomorrow is my big presentation. I am very nervous. You are going to be perfect, daughter. Hopefully. It is very important. The entire board of directors is going to be there. If this goes well, it could be my promotion to regional director. I am proud of you. Lai. Thanks, Mom. It means a lot coming from you. Lai as well. Are you going to celebrate after? I asked. Yes, there will be a dinner. Only for executives. Nothing special. I hope everything goes well. Me too. I will call you tomorrow to tell you how it went. I will be waiting. She hung up. She had no idea that I would be there. Friday, day of the event. I woke up at 4 in the morning. I had not slept well. Nightmares. Dreams where everything went wrong, where they threw me out of the hotel, where Olivia ignored me again. I showered. I dressed in black clothes. Simple pants, long-sleeved blouse, comfortable shoes. I looked in the mirror. A 65-year-old woman, tired, with wrinkles on her face, rough hands, gray hair. But my eyes were alive, more alive than ever. I arrived at the hotel at 5 o'clock sharp. They gave me the uniform. A black apron, a white cap, a name tag. Eleanor. Just Eleanor. No one asked my last name. The supervisor gathered us all. Today is a very important event. High-level executives. I need you to be invisible, fast, silent, no conversations, no distractions. Understood. We all nodded. Perfect. The event starts at 7. You will be in the back, serving, cleaning tables, refilling glasses. If someone speaks to you, respond with courtesy but briefly. Any questions? No one spoke. Good. To your positions. We entered the ballroom. It was huge. Round tables with white tablecloths, centerpieces with flowers, dim lights, a stage at the front with a podium and a giant screen. Everything perfect, everything ready for the show. My show. At 6:30, the guests began to arrive. Men in dark suits, women in elegant dresses, laughter, conversations, glasses of champagne. I was in the back, organizing trays, invisible. Then I saw her. Olivia. She entered the room in a long silver dress, high heels, perfectly styled hair, radiant smile. She walked straight toward a group of executives, shook hands, laughed, posed for photos. She was in her element. Minutes later, Catherine Sterling entered. Wine-colored dress. Elegant. Serious. Her eyes scanned the room. They were looking for me. Our gazes crossed for a second. She nodded slightly. Message received. The dinner began. Waiters serving appetizers. Red wine in crystal glasses. Conversations about business and figures. Olivia was seated at the head table, next to Catherine, next to other directors. She laughed, she talked, she shone. I collected dirty plates in silence. At 8 o'clock, the host went up to the stage. Good evening, everyone. It is an honor to have you here at our annual leadership dinner. Tonight, we celebrate the talent, dedication, and excellence of our executives. Applause. And now, I am pleased to introduce one of our brightest stars. Olivia Salas will share her regional expansion project with us. Please, let's give her a welcome. More applause. Olivia stood up. She walked toward the stage. Confident. Sure. She took the microphone. Good evening. Thank you for being here. Tonight, I want to share with you a project that represents not only the future of our company, but also my vision of leadership and personal growth. She began her presentation. Charts on the screen. Numbers, projections, everything impeccable. She spoke about effort, about overcoming, about building herself. I learned from a young age that no one gives you anything, that you have to work double, triple, that you have to be better than everyone. And that is what I did. Lies that she herself believed. I kept working, collecting empty glasses, filling glasses with water, waiting. My moment would arrive, soon. Olivia finished her presentation with a triumphant smile. Applause filled the room. The executives stood up. Some whistled. Others shouted bravo. She made a small bow, elegant, as if she had rehearsed that moment 1,000 times. She probably did. She came down from the stage. Catherine Sterling was the first to hug her. She whispered something in her ear. Olivia nodded. Emotional. I was 10 feet away, collecting used napkins from an empty table. No one looked at me. I was perfect in my invisibility. The host returned to the microphone. Impressive presentation, Olivia. Now, while we prepare the next part of the program, we invite you to enjoy the main course. Bon appétit. The waiters began to serve. Steak, steamed vegetables, mashed potatoes, everything served on immaculate white plates. I helped carry trays from the kitchen, up, down, up, down. My knees hurt. My back, too. But I could not stop. Not now. At the head table, Olivia conversed animatedly with a finance director, an older man, bald, with a red tie. It is incredible what you have achieved at your age, he told her. How old are you? 35. Exactly, responded Olivia, and without help from anyone. That is what I admire most, a woman who made herself. Olivia smiled. I had to learn everything alone. I had no guides. I had no mentors. Just my determination. Catherine watched her from the other side of the table. She said nothing, but her expression changed. A shadow crossed her face. I passed by them with a pitcher of water. I filled the glasses. Slowly, listening. And your family? Asked another woman. Did they support you? Olivia took a sip of wine. My family is complicated. I prefer not to talk about that. I understand. Sometimes family can be an obstacle more than a support. Exactly. Catherine squeezed her napkin. Her knuckles turned white. I kept walking. I returned to the kitchen. I took a deep breath. Not yet. It was not the moment yet. The dinner continued. Dessert. Coffee. More conversations. More laughter. At 9:30, the host returned to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, now we have a special segment. Our CEO, Mrs. Catherine Sterling, wants to say a few words to you. Catherine stood up. She walked toward the stage. She had not warned me about this. My heart began to beat faster. Catherine took the microphone. She looked at the audience. Then she looked at me. Directly, "Good evening," she began. "Tonight we have celebrated many achievements. We have seen brilliant presentations. We have recognized the talent of our team." Pause. "But I want to talk about something different. I want to talk about sacrifice, about the people who give up everything so others can succeed." The room went silent. Olivia looked at her, confused. 30 years ago," continued Catherine, "I worked with an exceptional woman, a brilliant executive, one of the sharpest minds I have known. She was offered international positions, six-figure salaries, opportunities that most only dream of." She paused again. "But she rejected everything. Do you know why?" No one answered. "Because she had a little daughter, a baby who needed her mother. And she chose her daughter over her career, over her future, over everything." Olivia shifted uncomfortably in her chair. "That woman is named Eleanor Vance," said Catherine. "And tonight she is here with us." My breath stopped. Everyone began to look around. "Looking for me." Catherine pointed toward where I was. "In the back, with my cleaning uniform, with my white cap. Eleanor, can you come here, please?" My legs were trembling, but I walked, slowly, with my head high, the longest steps of my life. Olivia saw me. Her eyes opened wide. Her face went pale. "Mom, what are you doing here?" I did not answer her. I kept walking to the stage. Catherine extended her hand. I took it. I went up the stairs. 200 pairs of eyes were watching me. Executives, directors, important people, and me, a 65-year-old cleaner. But Catherine looked at me differently, with respect, with admiration. "Eleanor Vance was my mentor," said Catherine into the microphone. "She taught me everything I know about leadership, about business ethics, about how to make difficult decisions." Olivia stood up, shaking. "Mrs. Sterling, I do not understand what is happening." "Sit down, Olivia," said Catherine. Her voice was firm. "I have not finished yet." Olivia obeyed. She let herself fall into the chair. Catherine looked at the audience. "A few weeks ago, I received an anonymous email. It contained documents, photographs, letters, everything about Eleanor, her past, her sacrifices, and the daughter who has denied her for years." Murmurs in the room. "At first I did not believe it," continued Catherine. "I thought it was a mistake, that maybe Olivia did not know, that maybe it was a misunderstanding." Pause. "But I investigated, and I discovered the truth. Olivia, your mother not only gave up her career, she rejected job offers that would have given her hundreds of thousands of dollars. She rejected international opportunities. She rejected a brilliant future." Olivia had tears in her eyes. "Why?" asked Catherine. "Why did you do that, Eleanor?" I stayed quiet for a moment. Then I took the microphone that Catherine extended to me. My voice came out firmer than I expected. "Because she was more important than any job, more important than any salary, more important than my future." Absolute silence. When Olivia was born, I was alone. Her father disappeared. I had no family nearby. We only had each other. I took a deep breath. I was offered a position in New York, $55,000 a year. In 1996, that was a fortune. But it meant leaving my baby, putting her in daycares, traveling constantly, missing her first words, her first steps, her childhood. The tears ran down my face, but I kept speaking. So I resigned. I resigned from everything. I started cleaning offices at night, because I could take Olivia with me. I could take care of her. I could be there. Olivia was sobbing, hands covering her face. I worked a triple shift to pay for her English classes, to buy her books, to give her opportunities. I broke my back. I destroyed my knees. I aged before my time, but I did not care, because she was my daughter, and I loved her. The room was completely silent. Only sobs were heard. Not only from Olivia, from other people too. "But a few months ago," I continued, "I discovered something. I discovered that my daughter was ashamed of me, that she denied me in front of her friends, that she had erased me from her history, that she said she had made herself alone, without help. I looked directly at Olivia, and that broke my heart more than any sacrifice. Olivia stood up, trembling. "Mom, I did not know. I did not." "You did not know because you never asked," I said. My voice was calm but firm. "You were never interested in knowing who I was, what I had done, what I had given up. You only saw a cleaner, someone inferior, someone to be ashamed of. That is not true. It is true, Olivia, and you know it." She collapsed. She fell to her knees in the middle of the room, crying uncontrollably. Some executives looked at her with pity, others with disappointment. Catherine took the microphone again. "Olivia, tonight you were going to be promoted to regional director. The board of directors had already approved your promotion." Olivia looked up, hopeful. "But," continued Catherine, "after what I just witnessed, after knowing how you treated the woman who sacrificed everything for you, I have decided to reconsider that promotion." Olivia went paler. "I cannot promote someone who lacks basic values. Respect, gratitude. Those are the pillars of our leadership. Mrs. Sterling, please. The decision is made." Olivia looked at me, with red eyes, destroyed. "Mom, forgive me. Please, forgive me." I went down from the stage, slowly. I walked toward her. I knelt in front of my daughter, the same daughter I had carried in my arms, the same one I had fed, the same one I had loved with every fiber of my being. I took her face between my hands. "Olivia," I said softly, "I forgive you, because you are my daughter, and you always will be." She sobbed louder. "But," I continued, "I cannot keep being invisible. I cannot keep accepting your contempt. I cannot keep being your shameful secret. I am sorry. I am so sorry, I know. But now you have to decide. Who do you want to be? The woman who denies her mother? Or the woman who recognizes where she comes from?" Olivia hugged me, tight, desperate. "I want to be better, Mom. I swear. I want to be better." I hugged her too. But I knew this did not end here. There was still more truth to come out, and that truth would change everything. Olivia was still hugging me when the lights in the room turned on completely. Catherine signaled to someone behind the stage. A technician appeared with a laptop and a projector. "There is more," said Catherine into the microphone. "Much more that everyone needs to see." Olivia separated from me. She looked at me with terror. "What else is there, Mom? What did you do?" I did not answer. I returned to the stage. Catherine extended her hand to me again. The projector turned on. The giant screen showed a scanned document. "This," said Catherine, "is an employment contract. Sterling Enterprises. 1994. Eleanor Vance. Operations Manager. Monthly salary, $4,200. The audience murmured. Some took out their phones to photograph the screen. The image changed. Another letter. Letterhead from a company in New York. Job offer. Regional Director for Latin America. Annual salary, $55,000. Full benefits. Apartment included. Relocation paid. Date of offer, March 1996. Catherine looked at Olivia. "Your mother was 6 months pregnant when she received this offer. It was her dream, to work internationally, but she rejected it." The screen showed a handwritten letter. The handwriting was mine, younger, more confident. "Dear Sirs, I deeply appreciate your offer. It is an honor to be considered for this position. However, I must decline it for family reasons. I am expecting a baby and cannot commit to relocations at this time. I hope you understand my situation. Sincerely, Eleanor Vance." The silence was heavy. Another image appeared, an old photograph. Me in an office, surrounded by documents. A plaque on my desk read, "Eleanor Vance, Executive of the Year, 1995. Olivia sobbed in her chair. Jessica, her colleague, put a hand on her shoulder. "But that is not all," continued Catherine, "because besides lying about her mother, Olivia has also lied about other things." Olivia raised her head, pale. "What?" "Your project tonight. The regional expansion. It is brilliant. It really is. Pause. But it is not completely yours. The color disappeared from Olivia's face. The screen showed an email. From 3 months ago. From Olivia Salas. To Jessica Cervantes. Subject: I need urgent help. Catherine read aloud. Jessica, I am desperate. The regional expansion project is getting out of hand. I need you to help me with the numbers. You are better with finances. I will take care of the presentation. No one has to know. Please. Jessica stood up. Red with shame. Mrs. Sterling, I only helped with some figures. I did not know that. That Olivia was going to take all the credit? Finished Catherine. That she was going to present it as if it were only her work? Jessica lowered her gaze. Another email appeared on the screen. From Olivia Salas. To Michael Ross. Subject: Ideas for the presentation. Catherine kept reading. Michael, I saw your draft of the expansion project from last year. It is incredible. Do you mind if I use some of your ideas? Obviously, I would give you credit. A man at the back of the room stood up. You never gave me credit. You used all my work. The room exploded in murmurs. Olivia stood up, trembling. It is not what it looks like. I adapted those ideas. I improved them. Just like you improved the story of your mother? Asked Catherine coldly. Erasing her, the screen changed again. Screenshots of messages. The Women in Biz group chat that I had seen on Olivia's laptop. The messages appeared one by one. My mother is a cleaner. She never went to college. She would not understand anything we talk about. My mother never had ambitions. She settled for the minimum. I had no role model. My mother never taught me anything useful. Sometimes I think my life would have been easier if I had had a different mother. Each message was a dagger. Some executives shook their heads. Others looked at Olivia with contempt. Who leaked those messages? Shouted Olivia. That is an invasion of privacy. I leaked them, I said. My voice resonated in the microphone. I found them on your laptop. The day you asked me to go to your apartment to get documents. Olivia looked at me. Betrayed. You went into my computer. It was open, and I saw things I should not have seen. Things that broke my heart. You had no right. Nor did you have the right to lie about me for years. The screen showed another image. A social media post from Olivia. From 2 years ago, a photo of her at her university graduation. The description said, Today I celebrate my degree, achieved with my own effort, without help, without privileges, only hard work and determination, proud to be a self-made woman. Catherine pointed to the screen. Olivia, who paid for your English classes? Olivia did not answer. Who paid for your books? Silence. Who worked 3 shifts so you could study? Olivia began to cry again. My mom. But I did not know. Yes, you knew, I shouted. I could no longer contain myself. You knew exactly what I was doing. You saw me clean houses. You saw me arrive tired. You saw me count coins to buy your food. You knew everything, but you chose to forget it. You chose to rewrite your history so it would be more convenient. The room exploded in murmurs. An older woman stood up. I did not recognize her. I knew Eleanor 20 years ago, she said. She cleaned my office. She always talked about her daughter. Always with pride. Always with love. She told me about Olivia's grades. About her achievements. You could tell she was happy even though she was exhausted. Another person spoke. A man with gray hair. I worked with Eleanor at Sterling Enterprises. She was the best executive we had. Intelligent. Dedicated. We all thought she would become CEO. But she resigned. She told us her daughter was more important. We respected her for that. More people began to speak. Testimonies. Memories. A waitress from the hotel approached the stage. I have worked here for 15 years. Mrs. Eleanor also worked here. In cleaning. She was always kind. She always smiled. But once I found her crying in the bathroom, I asked her what was happening. She told me her daughter did not answer her calls, that she had not heard from her in weeks. Olivia crumbled. She let herself fall to the floor, crying without control. Betty entered the room. I saw her from the stage. She was carrying a box in her hands. She came up to the stage with me. "I am Betty," she said into the microphone, "friend of Eleanor for 30 years. And I brought more proof." She opened the box. She took out more documents, more photographs. "This is Eleanor at 26, receiving the Executive of the Year award. This is her accounting diploma. These are letters of recommendation from 5 different companies." She showed them one by one. "This is a photo of Eleanor with her baby. Olivia was 3 months old. Eleanor had just resigned from her job. Look at her face. There is no regret. Only love." Another photo. Me carrying Olivia at 2 years old. We were in a park. I was smiling. Olivia too. This is Eleanor cleaning an office. Olivia was 5 years old. She was asleep in a corner on a sweater, because Eleanor had no one to leave her with. So she took her everywhere. More photos, my entire life exposed on a giant screen. Betty looked at Olivia. "Your mother sacrificed everything. Absolutely everything. And you treated her like trash." Olivia screamed. A heart-wrenching scream. "Enough. Please. I understand now." Catherine turned off the projector. The room went dark for a second. Then the lights turned on. 200 pairs of eyes looked at Olivia. Some with pity, others with disgust, most with disappointment. Catherine took the microphone. "The board of directors will make a decision about your future in this company, Olivia. But I tell you in advance that it does not look good." Olivia dragged herself to the stage. On her knees. "Mom, please. Tell them it is not that bad. Tell them they are exaggerating. Please." I looked at her. My daughter. Destroyed. Humiliated. Broken. Part of me wanted to hug her. Protect her as I had always done. But another part, the part that had been silenced for years, knew that this was necessary. "I cannot save you from this, Olivia," I said. "This time you have to face the consequences alone. No, please." I turned around. I went down from the stage. Betty was waiting for me below. She took me by the arm. "Are you okay?" she asked me. "No, but I will be." We walked toward the exit. Behind remained Olivia's screams. The murmurs of the executives. The chaos. Before leaving, I turned around one last time. Olivia was on the floor, alone. No one approached to console her, exactly how I had felt for years. Betty and I left the hotel. The cold night air hit my face. I took a deep breath. Deep. "Do you want to leave?" asked Betty. "Not yet. Why?" "Because it is not over yet." Betty looked at me confused, but did not ask more. We stayed outside, next to the entrance, waiting. 10 minutes later, Catherine left the hotel. She saw us and walked toward us. "Eleanor," she said, "I need to talk to you." "I know." We entered a small cafe next to the hotel. We sat at a table in the back. Catherine ordered tea. Betty too. I ordered water. "What you did in there was brave," said Catherine, "but also cruel." "Cruel," I repeated. "More cruel than what she did to me for years." "No, you are right. Olivia needed that lesson. And now what will happen to her?" Catherine sighed. "The board of directors will vote tomorrow. But I will be honest with you. It is very likely they will fire her." I felt a knot in my stomach. They are going to fire her. Her reputation is destroyed. She lied about her mother. She took credit for the work of others. The executives are furious. There is no turning back. Betty took my hand. "Is that what you wanted?" she asked me. I did not answer immediately, because I did not know the answer. Did I want Olivia to lose her job, her career, everything she had fought for? No. What I wanted was for her to understand, to value, to recognize. "I do not want to destroy her," I said finally. "I just want her to know the truth." "Well, the truth has consequences," said Catherine, "and Olivia will have to face them." Catherine took an envelope out of her purse. "There is something else she needs to know." "What?" "A month ago, Olivia requested a loan from the company, $50,000, to invest in her own business. She said it was urgent. They gave it to her. Yes, we trusted her. But now we discovered something." "What did you discover?" "That money was never for a business. It was to pay personal debts." Credit cards. Loans. Olivia is bankrupt. I was left speechless. Her luxurious apartment. Her expensive clothes. Her lifestyle. Everything is a lie. Everything is paid with debts she cannot cover. How did I not realize? Because she did not want anyone to know. She built a perfect image. But inside, she was collapsing. Catherine showed me documents from the envelope. Account statements, overdue bills, collection notices. Olivia owed more than $100,000. The company is going to demand she repay the loan, continued Catherine. If she cannot pay it, we will take legal action. That will destroy her completely. Yes, I stayed quiet, looking at the papers. My daughter's secret life put in red numbers. But there is an alternative, said Catherine. Which one? You, me, if you intervene. If you guarantee the loan? The company could reconsider the legal actions. I do not have $50,000. I know, but you could sign a payment commitment in installments. With your work, Betty intervened. Eleanor, you cannot do that. She humiliated you. She denied you. You owe her nothing. She is my daughter. A daughter who treated you like trash, but she is still my daughter. Catherine put another folder on the table. There is something else. Something you must decide tonight. I opened the folder. It was a will. My will. Where did you get this? I found it when I was investigating you. It is legally registered. You did it 10 years ago. I had forgotten. After a health scare, a neighborhood lawyer helped me make a simple will. And what does it have to do with this? In that will, you leave everything you have to Olivia. Your apartment, your savings, everything. I have almost nothing. Your apartment is worth approximately $120,000. It is not much, but it is something. Betty leaned forward. Eleanor, if Olivia treats you like this now, imagine how it will be when you are no longer here. She was right. Catherine took out another document. I prepared this. It is a modification to the will. If you sign it, Olivia will only inherit if she meets certain conditions. What conditions? First, she must publicly repay the loan to the company with her own work. Second, she must publicly apologize to you. Third, she must maintain contact with you at least once a week for a year. If she does not comply, everything goes to a charity foundation. I looked at the document. The words danced in front of my eyes. Why are you doing this? I asked Catherine. Because I respect you. I have always respected you. And because Olivia needs to learn that actions have consequences. I took the pen Catherine extended to me. My hands were trembling. I signed. A simple signature. But it changed everything. Done, said Catherine, keeping the document. This will be executed tomorrow morning. Olivia will be informed. We left the cafe. It was almost 11 at night. Betty hugged me. Are you sure about all this? No, but it is the right thing. What will you do now? Go home. Sleep. Wake up tomorrow and move forward. And Olivia will have to find her own way. Betty left in a taxi. I walked to the bus stop. My phone rang. Olivia. 30 missed calls. 50 messages. I read them. Mom, please answer. I am so sorry. I do not know what to do. I need you. Please, Mom. Do not leave me alone. I turned off the phone. This time, she would have to wait for me. The bus arrived. I got on. I sat next to the window. The city passed in a blur. Lights. Buildings. People walking in the streets. I thought about Olivia. About the baby she had been. About the girl who hugged me. About the teenager who began to be ashamed of me. And about the woman who denied me in front of the world. That woman had just lost everything. Her job, her reputation, her future. And for the first time, I did not feel guilt. I felt peace. Because finally, after so many years, I had recovered my voice and my dignity. The bus stopped at my stop. I got off. I walked the 2 blocks to my apartment. I went up the stairs slowly. My knees hurt. I opened the door. The apartment was dark. Silent. I turned on the light. And there she was. Olivia. Sitting on my old sofa. with her face swollen from crying so much, with her makeup running, with the wrinkled silver dress. She had been waiting for me. Olivia looked up when I entered. Her eyes were red, swollen, destroyed. "How did you get in?" I asked. "I kept the key. From when I was a child. I stood next to the door. I did not get close. I did not sit down." "What are you doing here, Olivia?" "I need to talk to you." "We already talked. In front of 200 people. Mom, please." "Please what? Do you want me to forget everything? Do you want me to act as if nothing happened?" Olivia stood up, trembling. "No. I just want you to listen to me." "Really?" For the first time, I crossed my arms. "You have 5 minutes." Olivia took a deep breath. The tears ran down her face. "All my life I saw you work. I saw you clean. I saw you arrive tired. I saw you count coins. And instead of feeling pride, I felt shame." She paused. "Not shame of you, shame of myself, because I had everything you did not have. Education, opportunities, a future. And even so, I never felt enough. And that justifies how you treated me? No, nothing justifies it. But I need you to understand. Every time I saw you, it reminded me of where I came from. And I wanted to forget it. I wanted to be someone different, someone important. You were important to me. That was not enough for you." Olivia sobbed. "No, and that is what I regret most. Because I spent 35 years seeking validation from strangers, from bosses, from colleagues, from people who meant nothing. And the only person who loved me unconditionally, the only one who sacrificed everything for me, I threw her away like trash." She let herself fall to her knees. "Mom, I lost my job. I lost my reputation. I lost my apartment. I am going to lose everything. And do you know what is the most terrible thing? That I deserve it." I looked at her. My daughter, broken on the floor of my small apartment. "Get up," I said. "I cannot." "Get up, Olivia." She obeyed. With difficulty, I walked toward her. We were face to face, 2 women, mother and daughter, strangers after so many years. "You are right," I said. "You deserve the consequences. But not because I say so, but because that is how life works. Actions have weight. And you carried yours. Then there is no forgiveness. I already forgave you." Olivia looked at me surprised. "What?" "I forgave you, because holding on to resentment would only destroy me. And I am not going to destroy myself for you anymore." "I do not understand. I forgive you, Olivia. But forgiving does not mean forgetting. It does not mean everything goes back to how it was before, because I can no longer be the invisible mother who accepts everything. That woman died tonight." Olivia began to cry again. "Then what are we now?" "That depends on you. Tomorrow you will sign a document. You will know the conditions of your inheritance. You will have to work to recover what you lost. You will have to apologize publicly. You will have to call me every week. I will do it. I promise. Do not promise me. Show me." I turned around. I went to my room. I took out a box from under my bed. I returned to the living room. I put the box on the sofa. "What is this?" asked Olivia. "Open it." Olivia opened the box. Inside there were photographs, letters, old drawings. "This is everything I kept from you. Your first drawings. Your report cards. The letters you wrote me when you were a child." Olivia took out a yellowed paper. She read it. "For Mommy. I love you more than the stars. You are the best mom in the world. Olivia, 7 years old." She sobbed reading it. "I wrote this. Yes, and I kept it all these years. Because that girl loved me. Before she grew up and was ashamed of me. Mom, I want you to take this box. I want you to see it every day. To remember who you were before deciding that I was not enough." Olivia hugged the box against her chest. "I do not know how to fix this. It does not get fixed from one day to another. It will take time. Maybe years. Maybe we will never be what we were. But if you really want to try, you will have to start by being honest. With yourself and with others. And you? What will you do?" I smiled. A sad smile, but liberating. I am going to live. For the first time in 30 years, I am going to live for me. Not for you, not for anyone else. For me. That means you do not want me in your life. It means that if you want to be in my life, it will be on my terms. With respect, with honesty, with genuine love. Or it will not be. Olivia nodded. She took the box. I am going to change, Mom. I swear. Oaths mean nothing. Actions do. Olivia walked toward the door. She stopped before leaving. Mom, will you ever stop loving me? I looked her in the eyes. Never. You are my daughter. But loving does not mean accepting mistreatment. I can love you and still keep my distance. I can love you and still protect myself. Olivia left. The door closed. I remained alone in the apartment. Silence. Peace. I walked toward the window. The city shone out there. Infinite lights. Life continuing. My phone rang. A message from Catherine. Eleanor, the board of directors voted. Olivia can stay in the company under a probation period. She will have to work double, repay the loan, rebuild her reputation. But we gave her a chance. For you, I responded. Thanks. But let it be clear. This opportunity is hers. Not mine. I no longer carry her mistakes, Catherine responded. Understood. By the way, I have a proposal for you. We can talk tomorrow. About what? About a job. Here. In the company. As a human resources consultant. Your experience, your story, could help others. Decent salary. Flexible hours. I read the message 3 times. A job. Not cleaning. Not invisible. A job where my story mattered. We talk tomorrow, I responded. I turned off the phone. I poured myself a glass of water. I sat on the old sofa. I looked around my small apartment. The cracked walls. The old furniture. The stained ceiling. But for the first time, I did not feel small. I felt immense, because I had recovered something I had lost 30 years ago. My name. Not Olivia's mom's name. Not the cleaner. Not the one who sacrificed everything. Just Eleanor. Eleanor Vance. The woman who was an executive at 26. The woman who resigned for love. The woman who worked until she broke her body. The woman who was denied. The woman who got up. The woman who recovered her voice. I got up from the sofa. I went to my room. I took an old photograph out of a drawer. Me at 26 years old. With my gray suit. Smiling. Confident. I put it on the nightstand. Hello. I told that woman from the past. I am sorry I lost you for so long, but here I am. Back. I lay down on the bed. I closed my eyes. Tomorrow would be different. Tomorrow I would talk to Catherine about that job. Tomorrow I would begin to rebuild my life. Not for Olivia. For me. Tomorrow would be the first day of the rest of my story. Because Olivia would no longer define who I was. I would no longer carry her shame. I would no longer be invisible. I would no longer be the secret she hid. My name is no longer hers. My story is just beginning.